Come on, we've seen like 9 trailers already. When's the movie gonna start? Alright, that's more like it.
Greetings, citizens of Gotham, and welcome to Outworlder 4, The Villain's Journey. As you've noticed, each Outworlder production looks slightly different than the one before it. When painting Outworlder 4, I used patches of green so that I could edit in dynamic effects and backgrounds later. In fact, you're looking at one of these effects right now. Gratitude for your continued interest, and enjoy the show.
You cannot imagine what it is to be me. I'm traveling through time, hunting a list of unsuspecting victims. I am seconds in the future. They never see me coming. See those 2 coordinates? I'm going to drop on her in 13 seconds. No cameras, no cops, no witnesses. Right about now, you are experiencing severe cramps, cold chills, and muscular rigidity. That's because I hit you with a paralytic venom of a snake native to Terminus 6. Shortly, your respiratory system will arrest and you will die right here on the bricks of Harvard University with a stupid look of bewilderment on your face. Know that because you die here, you will never find the cure to a plague of my own making that will kill thousands of colonists in 9 years. You failed them all! That's right. That's right. You were a real overachiever. Hey, did you ever wonder how bad you made people feel who the government would not allow to succeed? I'm doing these ne'er-do-wells a favor. Yeah, you're a real do-gooder who was destined to save thousands of colonists on Earth Colony 64. But here, now, you're gonna die! In 9 years, all of those colonists will roll around in their own sweat and drown in their own vomit, unable to figure out what is killing them, let alone cure it. And just for fun, I'm going to jump forward 9 years in time and see the fate of those you failed to save. And it does not matter how many scholarships or scholastic awards you got, because tonight, the chromakey, that's me, is going to end your smuggery and make you die a total failure to yourself and thousands you will never know. And you know what the funniest part of it all is? You will never know why!
To all Astroforce and civilian shipping, avoid Earth Colony 64. An alien pathogen is causing sudden deaths, and we are placing the entire planet on quarantine. Do not attempt a landing here. We are beginning sequence of the wildfire protocol to prevent spread of the pathogens.
None of this is right. Earth Colony 64 was a thriving metropolis of 376,231 citizens. A quarantine beacon is signaling all Astroforce vessels to avoid the planet. Whatever hit this colony did so very quickly. Scan the bodies, Diva. Their blood coagulated suddenly. Some of them look like they died in mid-step. You are thinking this is some kind of weaponized natural toxin? I am. I was here only days after today. Everyone was still alive. Suddenly there was a disruption in the time-space continuum, diversions of normal space traffic, a quarantine beacon warning everyone away. Then this is not how you remembered history unfolding. As I remember it, Oravius Plague was defeated by Dr. Leandra Vasili of the Harvard Medical School. Oravius Plague takes days to kill. These fatalities look like a sudden attack from a biogenic weapon. None of this is right. Perhaps we can examine the hospital records and see if she was even assigned here or just never arrived. This archive was guarded by 3 access codes. We are in. You are thinking too fast again, husband. Which starship is Dr. Vasili assigned to? She was a diagnostician and virologist on the USS Devonshire. I am not reading any scheduled flight plans for the USS Devonshire in this star system. No arrival reports here, no list of a Dr. Leandra Vasili on the crew roster at all. And I found out why. She was never assigned to the Devonshire. In fact, there is no assignments of her on any Astroforce or civilian vessels or on any colonies or outposts. I'm reading a biography of Vasili, Leandra, Ziona, that ended 9 years ago. William, the reason she did not arrive here days ago is because she was murdered on the night of October 18th, 2416. Autopsy reports indicate cardiac arrest, renal failure, sudden blood coagulation, and a loss of oxygen to the brain, much like how these people died here. Suspected exposure to an off-world toxin, but the autopsy was inconclusive in identifying what or where the toxins originated from. Then we are going back 9 years to finish that autopsy ourselves. Whatever killed her also killed Earth Colony 64. Classify Abramowitz 20201014 as unfit as organ donor or nutrition. Reclassify corpse for medical research for Perosium plague. Freeze cadaver and label for transit to the United States Army Medical Research Institute for Infectious Diseases, 4th District, Fredericksburg, Maryland. The toxin is a biological and chemical compound. The biotoxin causes extreme coagulation of the blood.
I have seen this biotoxin used by assassins on Yoromoto. It matches that of a snake native to the 6th planet of the Terminus system, and the chemical compound is designed to disrupt the electrochemical commands from the brain, causing rapid paralysis. Curious. This composition of medicinal chemicals was used to cure people with Parkinson's disease in 2031. This weapon was reverse engineered from a medicine that was designed to heal people. Wellness Works in Seattle, Washington owns the patent. That is a horrible weapon. Unable to move while your attacker watches you die of blood solidification? I am getting pieces of trace memory. Leandra was walking home from the Brattle Theater. Double feature of Batman and Blade Runner. She was on the Harvard University campus. The attacker emerged from the temporal vortex. The attacker is a time traveler. Observe the style of clothing and weapons. She panicked. Her eyes blinked. She had shortness of breath. He was wearing a two-tone red bespoke suit and ankle boots. I am zooming in on the fabrics. Combination of nylon, Saralon, wool, Savaro. Shoes are Churches of England, genuine leather Oxfords. Slow the image in your mind. The suit has a wide lapel, diagonal pockets. The shirt is a pattern I've seen on Baranjarius. Very ornate. Odd. He has an introverted personality, but he wears the style of a more extroverted individual. He is projecting an image of confidence and dominance. But notice the dull expression on the eyes. The large smile is fake. His mouth twitches with nervousness. The weapon is composed of a police-grade plastics. Very light and durable. The dart hits suddenly. It is a self-powered projectile with an effective range of 400 meters. But Leandra was hit at close range. Paralysis was instant. This dart matches one used by police to anesthetize rioters in mid-21st century Britain. He has an aptitude for chemistry if he was able to synthesize a biotoxin with a chemical compound. What is interesting is his temporal jump ordinance. We've had difficulty with bored hobbyists in the 26th century time traveling to the past and changing history. Lots of boot-stomped butterflies if you take my meaning. The time jump technology has developed faster than the legal system designed to police it. Whatever he is using appears grafted onto his own skeleton. Sports cars, mansions, and yachts laden with narcotics and concubines are not enough to amuse some people. This one enjoys tampering with the natural flow of time itself and killing unsuspecting victims. What makes the villain in a science fiction story who they are is that they want their version of the future to happen right now. I have read every British science fiction comic in your memory, husband, but this is reality. Relative to you and I, yes. To an outside observer, our lives would be viewed beyond their realm of understanding. Reality, relative to them, is a temporarily agreed upon concept made by people who don't really know what's going on. Precisely. We need to go where Leandra Vasily was attacked. There may be remnants of temporal radiation that we can follow. She died here.
There are traces of perspiration, urine, and toxin on these bricks.
The vortex opened here. There are traces of temporal fluctuation. So many people moving through here contaminated the fabric of space in this area. 2 patrolmen, 2 forensic detectives, and 43 onlookers, judging from the shoe impressions on the bricks.
Look at the position of the surveillance cameras. They are all pointed outward to see anyone walking onto campus. Very little interior monitoring. They won't be any help.
We are looking for a small warp signature, only a few megajoules.
Then the trail will go cold very quickly.
Then, shall we about it?
He was an artist, an architect.
He was alone in this gallery hanging pictures. No surveillance cameras, no witnesses. His name was Stash Jablonski.
This happened recently. You could feel the temporal energy in this room.
Cyril Burroughs was a political science graduate student, genetically engineered from birth to easily adapt to numerous alien planetary atmospheres and gravities. Scan the discs on the desk.
Entire libraries of economic systems, interstellar law, customs, marketing, numerous language studies, interstellar commerce. None of these victims were in any way related.
You have not been to the Viralis star system. In 2657, mediator Cyril Burroughs will negotiate peace between 7 planets in 3 different star systems. His thinking was that planets can trade resources that allow all of them to develop thriving economies. And here he is in 2633 dead before he even got out of graduate school.
So there is a link between these victims. They were all killed before they could accomplish what they planned for their lives.
Excellent summation. The perpetrator we are hunting knew who these people were, meaning that he is from further ahead in time. He has gone back before they fulfilled their destinies and killed them.
But that will devastate numerous timelines. What kind of parasite does this?
Diva, you are an accomplished artist. What kind of parasite destroys a creator?
A jealous parasite that cannot make art for themselves.
And now we proceed.
You've probably noticed there are no pedestrians on my streets, no flying cars in my air, no hover buses moving, no life on the planet Berengarius. I am the reason why. See, some people are not afraid of being shot or stabbed, but you threaten to infect them with an escaped alien pathogen, and they jump into anything with warp drive and zip out. This entire city with one badass wave energy power plant recharges my chronoton generator. From here, I can be anywhere and anywhen. Eternity is mine, bitches. Hey, I didn't have a rough childhood, and I was not the victim of any crime. I just loved chaos. I came up rich. Always got what I wanted, always will. And there's nothing you poor saps with empty pockets can do about it. You look at me and you say I suffer from affluenza because I refuse to sympathize with anyone less fortunate that I erase from history. And yes, I do erase people from history, and I do have fun telling them all they could have accomplished had I not poisoned them like vermin. And there's no law that can follow me. Think about it. There's no law in any books about traveling to and fro in time and wasting people. And I can hop through time like you cross from the living room to the kitchen to fill your disgusting faces with chemical byproducts that pass as snack foods. Hey, maybe I should whack you. Nah! You'll have a coronary sitting in that easy chair soon enough, sucking down from a soda mug the size of a depth charge. And you won't turn me off either. You won't turn me off because you want to see who I waste next. Will I go back in time and shoot President John F. Kennedy? No reason for me to do that. No reason for me to do that at all. Because Corsican Brotherhood sniper Lucien Sarti already did it. Saw it myself. From the overpass. Look at the photos from November 22nd, 1963. You'll see me. Brown and gray coat, short brim fedora hat, fit in with the locals. But somehow, just watching people get shot was not enough. I wanted to do the shooting. I wanted to shoot people whose demise would alter the course of history itself. How many do I have to kill to cause a huge temporal quake? You know you want to see me stand over another innocent victim. A victim who can barely gasp to beg for their life. A victim who can only contemplate all the greatness they will never attain. Just for fun, I could go back in time and shoot Julius Caesar and tell him that he will never live to be Emperor of Rome. Even a bored kid like me looks like a hero if he's killing a despot. Think about it. You wonder why I do this, yes? It is pure and simple rich boy envy, jealousy, and affluenza! I have no skills at math, so I'll never be a doctor, so I killed one. I cannot make art, so I killed an artist. I cannot fathom law or business or understand cultures, so I killed a mediator. I'm not patient with the process of ethical scientific method, constant trial and error. So just for fun, I'm going to drop back in time to May 26th of 2064 and kill a space plane full of space campers returning from the moon. Ooh, but inevitably the Outworlder would get on my trail. So how best to kill a comic book superhero? Easy! Go back to November of 1976 and kill Joseph Hauser, who wrote and drew the Outworlder comic books. Right now you're wondering why this holographic camera, this little red orb, is recording my journal. I keep this journal so that future generations will not misunderstand my motivations, but instead will be inspired by them. Yes, I will inspire nothing less than galactic cataclysm. Anarchy will reign, civilizations will burn, and roving bands of those like me will hop about time, wasting anyone that aspires to be anything. Hey, but for those of you who are mediocre, you've got nothing to worry about. You just go back on belching on the couch while your neighbor with their nose in a book gets a dart in the head. Rugged individualist creators be damned. We parasites are legion!
Hey, you like my sculpture collection? Yeah? I teleported them right out of the shower and encased them all in plastic bubbles.
I got the slumlord whose place I lived in after my parents tossed me out. I got the tax agent that taxed me too much while I was poor. The poor pay way too much in tax if you ask me. Poor suckers. I got the psychiatrist who tried to steal my inheritance by declaring me insane. I mangled them all. Now this pristine beauty is Eleanor. Soon as I inherited my parents' huge estate, she came clawing at my bank account. Now she's forever age 21. Yeah, I beamed her out of the shower and into this wet resin bubble, and the last breath she took was resin plastic. Yeah, that crap is in her lungs. That's how I killed her. Drowned on resin plastic. Right. Did the bitch a favor, I think. Yeah, I made her immortally beautiful in there. Bottom line is, you mess with the Chromakey, then you die in fascinating ways. I am the maestro of murder. It is strangely ironic. Even with all the physical and material wealth I was born into, I have an impoverished intellect. I can talk smart, use big words, but I have no mind for the day-to-night running of my parents' galactic-wide pharmaceutical company. You know the place. Wellness Works, biggest of the galactic pharma in Seattle, Washington, selling people cures to diseases they cannot even pronounce. Hey, the whole board of directors of Wellness Works knows I'm out here poisoning people. Yeah, but they don't care because they make big profits. I poison Earth Colony 64, and they sell a cure to the other colonies who don't want to drop dead the same way. Big profits based on the fear that I will put in everyone. Yeah. People will pay anything not to be afraid. Stupid cattle deserve to be snuffed out. Now, my parents were not cool with my modus operandi. All that pious talk about business ethics and how Wellness Works exists to improve the quality of lives everywhere. Parents had to go. Had they not turned inside out during a recent teleporter incident, I'd have had to go look for a lame brain job in the service economy. I told you I was lousy at math, so I cannot do a production job. Teleporters are so finicky. Put a wrong coordinate number or a / in the wrong place and almost anything can happen. Anything! So I inherited it all. I employ people who are talented business moguls to run Wellness Works for me. I take an occasional interest in sitting on a few board meetings. The physically and mentally ill pay for their meds, and then I can hop through time having my thrill kills and sex orgies. I got this blue chip. Yeah, I do. I got this blue chip hooker on Wall Street back in 1985. She's got multiple personalities. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get. She could change 3 to 7 times in an hour. Stepford wife to showgirl, the cheerleader, hippie chick, the dominatrix, anything at all. Psyche Susan, yeah, you fellow travelers know the one. And if I ever really get bored, then I can develop other interests to amuse me. Hey, my chronoton generator is recharged. I'm off to May 26th of 2064 to drop a space plane loaded of kitties onto St. Louis. I won't see you in the history books. Because if you do make history, you're dead! I can feel the chronoton particles moving. He was just here. How much further in time can he go? He wants you to think he's going further forward in time, but the chronoton stream is going backwards. Showtime! I'm not good at science,
So I'm going to drop back in time to May 26th of 2064 and kill a space plane full of space campers returning from the moon. Ooh, but inevitably the Outworlder will get on my trail. So how best to kill a comic book superhero? Easy! Go back to November of 1976 and kill Joseph Hauser-Bloke that drew the Outworlder comic books. Right now you're wondering why this holographic journal is recording me. I keep this journal so that future generations will not misunderstand my motivations, but instead be inspired by them. Yes, I will inspire nothing less than galactic cataclysm. I've got 2064. See you in 1976.
Houston, Space Camp 1 is off its approach vector. We are unable to establish communications.
You bimbos just sit there and watch this tub full of screaming kiddies and parents crash onto Busch Stadium. You will truly make your mark all over the state of misery.
I administered an antitoxin to reduce the coagulation of your blood. Another minute and you'd both be dead. Control room smash! Space Camp 1 is a dead state! We're gonna crash onto St. Louis! Not on my watch, darlings. It's getting hot! We're gonna burn up! I need to sweat. There's an anime character on the wing! Worst outfit ever! We're leveling out! But we can't lower the landing gear! This ship is not designed to withstand a belly landing on a tarmac! The passengers will be crushed!
Mid-America, this is Space Camp 01. I don't know how, but our landing gear deployed. We're approaching your outer markers.
Confirm, Space Camp 01. You are clear on runway 88. Emergency vehicles are on standby.
You think she was a stowaway? From the moon? Hey, let Ed figure it out. Your mind moves nearly as fast as my husband's.
Nothing moves faster than mine, Captain William Conrad Hauser.
I've seen images of you in William's mind. Who were you to him, Dahlia Lugenhofer?
David, you are not the only entities ruling the universe into order. I am Dahlia Elizabeth Lugenhofer of the Scorched Wings. You might say I am an angel that gets her hands dirty.
You knew my husband when he was human. You knew him when he was with Squadron Zero.
William helped with Scorched Wings to prevent the demons from assailing heaven.
Are you thinking metaphorical?
I might be. One person's master extraterrestrial is another's demon.
What is your involvement in this case?
Like your husband, I noticed changes in the normal course of history. I am here to reel it back into order again, and you looked like you needed all the help you could get.
Then you know that Chromakey is a jealous murderer of the talented. His plan is to disrupt the course of time and cause galactic cataclysm.
Chromakey is unredeemable. You can leave Chromakey's future crimes to myself and the Scorched Wings.
He is planning to kill William's father.
Not a good idea. Joseph Hoover is quite a formidable human being.
You know William's father too?
Certain families move through time together. The Hoovers have known Lugenhofer since before World War time.
I wish I had time to learn more from you. I have so many questions.
David, we are time travelers. We have all the time we desire. When you close this case, visit me in Frankfurt, Germany, binding Bierhaus in Berliner Platz, November 1989.
The day the Berlin Wall falls.
See you there. As to fellow time travelers are fond of saying, be excellent to each other.
I love this life! I gotta tell you picked the wrong time to drop in here, Timothy Andrew Welford. I'm working here. Star Trek Marathon starts at 10 on WPIX. Now's the time you decide to drop in here and bust my balls. Huh? You can add strategists to that long list of things you screwed up on. Impossible. How did you know? How did you know? You're alone in this apartment. No one to help you. I cut the phone line. You're exactly where I wanted you. I sent my wife and son to an appearance by Dr. Carl Sagan. I knew you would come here. There's no way you could now. No, I don't sense any recent chronoton discharges in the area. So the Outworlder's not here. You're alone. I made certain to choose this date because you're still drawing issue number 1 right now, and the Outworlder only exists on your art table. How could you know who I am and I came here to erase you? Hey, you must be new to fifth dimensional thinking. Killing me won't end the Outworlder. You went the wrong way in time. Hey, Putz, you're even in the wrong dimension. This makes no sense. You're not the Outworlder in disguise, yet you pretend to know me. I watched you at the precinct house drawing faces of criminals described by hysterical victims. Watched you and your old partner Giacomo go see Logan's Run after work. Watched you buy art supplies. Watched you shop for groceries. Watched your wife and son go to the planetarium, and yet you think you got the edge over me? You're the jamoke lying on the hardwood floor, shot by the fastest pen in the East. See this pen? You see this pen? It's made in the Soviet Union for the KGB. A little souvenir from my old job in the covert service. Spring-loaded pen that ejects a paralytic dot. That aching all your joints, rapidly calcifying. You put me down with some ancient reptile venom? Plant spore? What was it? This is impossible, man. You thinking I need my son to protect me from a time-traveling serial killer? No, I don't. I just need him here to erase you from history. Show him, son. Timothy, your temporal murder spree is over, and I'm not a cop tonight. I'm not going to put you in front of a judge and jury. I'm not going to let you rant your way into Bellevue to inspire followers. 20th century, there's enough lunatics. This cannot be happening to me! I'm rich! I'm entitled! I cannot live without an audience! Without fanfare! I must live on to inspire my legions! Damn it. He already did it. Won't matter if you kill me, Chronoton Crusader. You think this is my first trip back to the 20th century? What's he talking about, son? What's in his? He committed a crime that he did not record on his holographic camera. In September of 1966, he introduced barium into milk processing plants in every nation. March of 1971, he releases lithium into 38 water reservoirs globally. June of 1975, he mixes lead and nerve toxin into recipes at bakeries which distribute bread, cakes, cookies, anything commercially bought by consumers. That's right, man. That's right. I poisoned an entire generation of growing kids. Won't do much to you adults. But in the growing brains of kids, it will cause hyperactivity, attention deficits, learning disabilities, cognitive and memory flaws, lots of short fuses. Think about it, man. Yeah, whole goddamn generation of short fuse people shooting up schools, bashing buildings with jetliners, rampaging, highway killings, murders on cruise ships, highways that are free fire zones. Damn, man. You won't even be able to go shopping, to a bank, to a movie, without the paranoia that the person right next to you might flip out and kill you all. A whole planet of people like me plunging every nation into chaos. Trying to max effect, man, and it's too late to do anything about it. Too late! Hey, old cop. Maybe your own son is infected with that crap. You think about that? He might turn into a mass murderer. Another Chronamax! My legacy, man! Chronamax effect! As a matter of legal disclaimer, I cannot claim responsibility for every kid who loses their mind. Some kids just have lousy parents, maniacal teachers, devious guidance counselors, power-happy shrinks, and a crap-head doesn't know how to birth. Too much reading you to fix. You are terminated, runner. Nicely done, son. Didn't even make a mess on the floor. He is erased from existence, but his crimes have caused irreparable damage to entire generations of children. There might be a limit to even what you can fix. Son, I gotta know. You want to tell William what will happen 12 years from now. Warn him. Prevent him from becoming me. Whether you do or do not, I will still be in orbit on the night of December 10th, 1988. Stand on the roof. Watch the skies. I don't suppose I should tell anyone about your battle of the century in 1988. You write reality as you live it, Dad. In another dimension, reality is written by an Army veteran who thought me up in a German foxhole in 1988. How you perceive reality. Wow. But I never miss one of your fights. Never. And I'll be on that roof. Camera loaded. Hey, you wanna go for a college town pizza? Outstanding, Dad. I know this is New York, but it's amazing how people don't panic seeing you. Only you see me this way, Dad. Everyone else sees you walking with Giacomo Gazzetti. Hey, like the shadow. I'll write that in somewhere. Are you clouding all these people's minds? Does your wife Stevie do that trick too? We can alter our entire structure to resemble anyone, anything. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Hauser. You look like Sophia Loren. Yes, I do. I gotta ask, you two have any kids yet? No. Even time travelers have difficulty scheduling family time. Ironic. Time travelers, they cannot make time. You gotta tell me how that works. Why, well, after I have some college town pizza. We don't have food like this in the future, Mr. Hauser. They eat each other like MREs. Yeah, I've seen Soylent Green. But you two are going to do something about that, right? And that is why we won't have time for kids.
This is Air Force Sergeant John Gamache coming to you from Armed Forces Network Radio and Television. On this day, the Berlin Wall began to fall.
Tell me everything.
You want to know why William had to suffer. You want to know why the Scorched Wings did nothing to help you. You want every quantum theory and alternative reality you could think of, but you still came up with this being the only inevitable, possible outcome. One man suffered so that trillions, perhaps quadrillions could be saved, including the two of us and everyone, everything going now. You even thought of going to 28th century table and preventing his being captured with any trust can. I know you thought that because I did too, but if we did, all of this would have been done since December 10th of last year. It would all be regulated just like where it came from. His earth is gone. Even he cannot change that. His intervention saved this one. If you truly want to do what is right, then you need only continue what you are doing. Vive, you are the best thing that ever happened to him.
I suppose I needed to hear that from you. I needed to know that I was not the only one who...
He knows how you feel. I know he thinks, remembers, computes faster than us, but he also feels our thoughts, and he hides nothing from us. You know that over the decades, the centuries, William became more and more evolved, more removed from the living. Even back in 1988, he realized that he no longer had anything in common with humanity anymore. Compared to him, humans are not much more than single-celled amoeba, having nothing, no one to relate to. He became more and more distant, even desolate and bordering on pathetic. Fortunately, he met you, otherwise he'd have continued evolving away from the living and who knows what he'd have turned into. I know he does not talk about things like that with anyone.
No, he doesn't. But since we're in each other's heads most of the time, he doesn't have to talk.
So where is he now?
William's daughter Sandra joined the Marines in late September of 2001. William is in Afghanistan in 2004, knowing that tonight Al-Qaeda is the least of her problems. The Zaraqni are drawn to conflict. They already arrived in the mountains, hijacked the bodies of Al-Qaeda terrorists, and are going to launch an attack on a community of Afghanis that have been cooperating with Americans. The Marines mobilized, thinking that they're rescuing the Afghanis from terrorists. They're not ready for the Zaraqni. Even Squadron Zero did not see the Zaraqni coming.
But William did. How does he do that? How does he know where and when to intervene?
Must be a dad thing.
Where that cartoon got hit? The ground opened up underneath us. There's something else out there. Faster, bigger, and using energy weapons. More terrorists. We only got a glimpse of them. They move too fast.
We are triangulating your location. Identify yourself, Marine.
PRC Sandra Hauser, 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, Alpha Company. Hoorah!
Medevac chappers diverting. Hang in there, 2 minutes, Hauser.
We're in some pretty shit now, man!
What the hell flew by? You wouldn't believe me if I told you, sir.
Whatever the hell ran by was wearing Marine Corps colors, man. Gotta be some kind of experimental weapon system. Or some goddamn nature, more like. Tear off the nails into those choppers. We know if the refugees are all wounded. We get out of this goddamn kill box.
Somebody in military intelligence neglected to brief us that space aliens are active in our theater of operations.
Game over, man! Game over!
There won't be room for us on those choppers. Retreat, hell, I just got here.
The Outworlder found us. All of my squad is dead. We never saw him coming.
You have no armada to return to. They are all subatomic dust. Just like you.
Get to the chopper!
You're right, sir. There's not enough room for us on the choppers. I can't leave a Marine behind. Sir, you're wounded, and there's not enough room. I'll meet my way back. Another chopper can come for me later. She's right, Lieutenant. We gotta go! Can't we unload a few cases to make room for her? LT, here's the sit rep. 1. That medical shipment's gotta get to its destination. 2. Those translators gotta be debriefed. 3. We got orders from a significantly higher source. PFC Hauser is safer down there than we are up here. Do you get me? Dad? I know you said I wouldn't have to fight in a war. But this is my war!
So it is.
I'm out here because the man I was supposed to marry got crushed by Tower 2. You were probably in my head before you even arrived, so you knew that. My other dad, my biological dad, he liked welcoming a firefighter into the family. I think you would have liked Charles too. Everyone called him Chuck.
That morning, you did not go to class. You went down to the battery. You knew he would be there.
He's in the trucks roll in. Everyone else is running out screaming. He strides in with his whole tour of buddies, smiling like a leprechaun on a mission.
People run out. He marches in. You stare up. People are trapped.
These firefighters don't use elevators, Dad, so they don't get trapped. They walk all the way up to those people. And there weren't people anymore. Everyone else is running away. I'm standing there. I can't breathe, can't sing. I'm looking for them. They're all gone.
The person you were was not processing what was happening. But who you were becoming in that moment understands.
Yes. Yeah, I tried to explain it to Mom. She wouldn't understand.
Sandra, your mother, Janine, understood. She understood everything. She did not want that life for you. She understands everything.
You mean she understands that you do all this?
She does. She wanted something else for you, so you would not have to change so much, change so fast. There was nothing she did not know.
How did she do it? Knowing so much, telling no one. If I'd have been her, I'd have been a nervous wreck.
Janine is an exemplary woman, not the type you keep secrets from.
I've been thinking for years about what I'd say if I ever saw you. And right now it's all scattered.
Begin with your first memory of me.
The night my 6th birthday present arrived. You delivered it. It was you on the phone. And when you left, little Rachel balked. I looked out the window. Only saw a blue blur. Couldn't put it together till I talked to Grandpa. He saw you fight the Etruscans through his telescope on the roof. That explosion lit the night sky like daylight. Should have incinerated the earth, but Grandpa says, he says you absorbed all of it? What should I talk with Grandpa? I could not figure out what was comic book lore and what was history.
Sometimes Grandpa cannot either. The truth is stranger than science fiction.
Only you could say that and be talking about reality. You really are a force in nature.
I'm just a guy making the world safe for his wife and daughter. Best job I ever had.
Then you know how it all ends for us, don't you? I would have died tonight if not for you. The whole world would have.
How do you know when to arrive?
It's a dad thing. Come on, Sandra. Take a walk with your old man.
Dad, is it true that you only intake energy from everywhere? I mean, don't you eat?
While various types of energy are nourishing, they lack the taste of real food.
You want to split an MRA? Like a dried meat and a vegetable patty.
Sandra, sniff the air. Tell me what you smell coming from around that hill.
Soviets hot dogs in Afghanistan? Dad, that's impossible!
Sandra, impossible is my shtick.
You're funny, Dad. What do you mean I'm funny? What, I amuse you? I make you laugh? You haven't changed at all, Dad.
The best of us never have to. I'm having ketchup on 2 dogs and a root beer.
You eat dark mustard on Soviets, Dad. Every Jamoke in Manhattan but you eats dark mustard on a Soviets hot dog.
I am not every Jamoke on Manhattan.
No shit!
You've drawn yourself into an Outworlder comic book.
Yeah. See, this time-traveling serial killer tries to kill the Outworlder by killing off his comic book creator. Me.
Jokes on him. The way you talk about Outworlder, I almost think you're writing from life experience.
It isn't my life experience, Lorraine. It's his memories in my head.
Joseph, you're a different man since your injury. You never saw the officer who took down the orphan wrecker. You never heard him call an ambulance for you.
I got a glimpse of him. Very big, very fast. He bounced the orphan maker through that alley like a ball. The headlights of the ambulance. He shined at him for just a second. I thought I was hallucinating. Then he vanished. After surgery, I woke up and what I saw was stuck in my head. Not just his image. But I had his memories in my head that were not mine. They were his. And I'm picking up even more of them all the time.
I was reading your story notes. Outworlder is getting married to an alien woman with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, he's been on his own for 324 years. Seemed like a good time. Maybe the two of them got gaps in their lives. You know, like Rocky Balboa and Adrian. Together they fill gaps. Together they can both heal. I don't know, maybe people need to see that right now.
Maybe we do, Joseph. I hope wherever the Outworlder is, he's happy. Good evening. How's the residence? William, you meet a girl at Midtown Comics. What is her name? Jenny by Anchorage in town. I like her already.
Your ride is coming over the horizon at 130 knots closure.
Dad, am I ever going to see you again?
Somewhen. In a moment, you will meet a Squadron Zero operative to discuss your contact with the Zarachni. He also reads Alan Moore, Warren Ellis, Grant Morrison graphic novels. You two will have a good life.
Dad! We're always saying goodbye.
It is not goodbye, Junior. Only until somewhen.
Adaptive camouflage going to sky mode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
PFC Hauser. I'm Captain Jason Webb. You spent the last several hours down at some hostile Jeff. How is it you're not post-mortem? Captain, eyes right.
Is that what saved your unit? Squadron Zero calls him the Outworlder. Incredible! What can you tell me about him? I'm going to tell you the story of a man who tore through hell and earth just so he could make it home in time for his kid's birthday. Excuse me for just a moment now. You smell like a kosher hot dog. Now, how is that possible out here? I'm getting to that.